Welcome to Stories with Dice. This is the Dark Blue Sea, a Mutant Year Zero actual play podcast. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you'll never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated, share your thoughts, and join the conversation. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Mutant Year Zero. I am joined as ever by my trusty and wonderful, very hard-working co-host, Marco.
I'm glad you've noticed.
What? You do stuff? I didn't even realize. We also have Douglas.
Hello. I am not as hardworking as Marco. I just turn up.
And Pete.
Hi.
We don't have Chris, unfortunately. She is off enjoying Carnival somewhere, I believe. So, Chris, this one's for you.
And that's okay, because Moss fixed my rifle, so Moss is superfluous.
Yeah, we don't need Moss now. It's all good. So, where we left off last session, you were back at the ship. You'd kind of convinced Elson to go off and lead, I don't know, like an expedition to the cannibals that you were fought, leaving them gone. There is no one leading Rhett's gang, and Arwin is on the island, leaving you all to, well, figure out what you're going to do at the ship. But first of all, someone needs to make a roll to see how many people in the Ark kick the bucket this week. But I believe your Ark has got quite a lot of food now, which I think you went over to the next inclination of the
Unless
food.
we solve the stuff on the island, the people on the ship don't have access to the food. I think
That's true.
Population.
That is true. So currently, technically, the people on the island have quite a lot of food, but it's currently your development level is 25. So technically, so almost everyone in the Ark can fill their stomach every day, and there's even enough to put some aside for hard times. A bullet typically buys you 3 rations of grub, and we get to decrease the session body count by 2. Look at that. So if someone wants to roll me a D6, I'm gonna just enforce that out. Why not? It would be -1. So let's just see what someone rolls. So shall we
I nominate Pete.
Pete, if you want to roll me a D6, that'd be great, sir.
Yeah.
I always fix on this.
See, I nominate him because he always is a high roller.
Nice. So, well, that didn't go very well. So even though it turns out that the people on the island seem fine, but the rest of you on the ship are sadly away. So you started off with 200 souls on board the ship, and you are now on 101. So it's going down. Just to remind everyone, you've got a development level for food of 25, a development for culture of 2, technology is 10, and warfare is 10. So definitely the food is kind of getting there, but you're not really kind of developing any kind of culture or understanding about how you're going to live in that direction. Technology is kind of holding steady, and warfare is holding steady. Now, before we started, Douglas, you were looking at some of the projects the Ark do, and you were talking about one project that you liked.
Unfortunately, I don't think we meet the minimum criteria quite yet.
Do you not? Okay, well,
I think I will maybe keep it a secret for now, but I think we're missing the technology requirement.
me just have a little look. I won't spoil the surprise for anyone, but I'm just going to have a little quick look. Okay, yes, you're right. Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see then in that case.
Yeah, so I think maybe if that's going to be our goal, the first order of business will be to secure that food supply from Arwin's gang on the island, because they're the one with the farm.
Okay.
That's just, put that on the board, as something that we need to take care of.
Can you, someone roll me 5d6?
5d6?
5d6. It's not a skill roll, it's just yield 5d6, total it all up, and tell me what you get. Because that's how many people are going to go into the zone expedition.
All right, I'll do it. 13.
13. So he's taken 13 of them. So there's 120 odd left. But he's going to take about half of his team half of his group, and then a bunch of others that are kind of unaligned to a particular gang, and they're all going off to go and sort out these cannibals. Okay. So that gives you 120 odd people to try and manipulate and deal with, I suppose.
He left you behind, Roach. Always getting looked over, passed over on all the important stuff.
Suits me for now. Okay. Well, what's the plan then, guys?
Well, I think the one thing we were asked was to go deliver a message to the people on the island.
Yes.
To say that there's going to be some sort of meeting or something. Well, I don't know this. This is stuff that the other characters discussed with Elson, so I assume they told me.
Yes, yeah, that's the sort of thing.
So that is the one thing that they have asked, because we have the only boats, and we may... The other one went missing mysteriously, who knows where it went.
Yeah, so you have the power of the boat. That's quite handy, You are that. You've got the power to be the one who can explore places, and I suppose give them another boat if necessary. So that kind of makes you a little vital for them kind of going backwards and forwards, that kind of thing. And they've got a bunch of smaller skiffs and rowboats, which they could presumably get there and back, but it's just a lot of time and effort to kind of hike it across. So is that a plan to kind of go over to the island and do that? Or did you want to, I don't know, did you want to take the island by force? Did you want to try and get Arwin?
Well, I don't want to kill everyone on the island and take it by force because my buddy's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see there's a need to go in there guns blazing at the moment.
Okay.
But we do need to speak to Arwin and make sure she understands she's no longer in charge.
And also maybe ask why she did what she did.
Yes, I agree.
That is if Arwin's still there or alive or hasn't just been deposed by everyone else. So will we do that first, everyone?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds like a plan.
Well, if you're not going to be tooled up or anything, or, you're not going over there with any kind of intent and sail over, did you want to take anyone with you, or are you just going to go over just the four of you?
3 of us, you mean?
Well, I say the 4. I assume you're going to go over and leave Moss in charge of the boat so that you don't all kind of wander off to see Arwin and they take your boat.
We're stranded on the island.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Yes, correct. Yes.
And then mysteriously, if Moss happens to come in and save the day if anything goes wrong, there we go. Okay, right. You do that. You wander over to the island. Can someone roll me a d6, please?
Bliss, you haven't rolled anything yet.
I have not rolled anything. Why not? Is there going to be a reason why I have not rolled anything? Maybe a 4. It's a middle ground number, so
4. Okay. So the weather is unchanged. It's kind of slightly overcast. A little breezy, but nothing too bad. And so very, very quickly you manage to sail across to the island.
I thought you were going to bust into song and start singing "The weather outside is frightening." Weather outside is frightening.
Unfortunately, singing is not my strong suit, as you may have noticed.
Nor mine.
Okay, you make your way across the island. You can see there are a couple of gang members waiting on the dock, and one of them says, "You back?"
No.
What's that boat?
How the fuck should I know?
It was here and then you left and then it wasn't.
Sounds like a you problem.
All right. Well, what can I do for you? This guy's name is Striker.
We're here to see Arwin, Striker.
All right. Well, come on, Caspian. Do you want to leave all your stuff in the boat?
Why would I leave my stuff in the boat?
Well, he kind of looks to see if you're tooled up with any weapons or anything. And unless you're particularly trying to hide any weapons, he kind of says, you can put that back. You don't need that.
Don't worry, I'm not going to shoot Arwin. He's a lore keeper. Why would I do that?
He smiles and...
Guys, back me up here.
Like everyone else is nobly silent.
Well, okay. You know me, Striker. I'm friends with Victim, whatever. We did you a favor to get you on here. We put our lives at risk to hold off the other people to get you time to get here. That doesn't give us any sort of trust. Come on, guys.
He looks over at the other guy. The guy who's got these pustules on his cheek and stuff. He looks over at him. He looks back. Striker. He just shrugs his shoulders. Cochran, why don't you make some kind of persuadey, manipulatey kind of roll? So if you want to make a manipulation roll, that'd be great.
Manipulation sounds fine. I could just do that. No, I don't have anything else that has. So this will be 7 dice.
Nice.
And that's a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. He says, being Victor's friend is, I think that's what it's all cracked up to be. Just want to push the roll.
Really, because I'm not fussed about taking my weapons and it's only Caspian.
Okay.
It's being funny about the weapons.
And says, like, Caspian, you can stay with the boat if you want.
Roach, what do you think?
I ain't going nowhere without the axe.
Yeah, I ain't going anywhere without me gun.
All right. Will I just go then? You guys
No,
watch
no.
things.
You're not going by yourself. These guys are twitchy.
Can I make a sort of like get a feel for like do a sense of motion check to get the sort of like vibe check if that makes sense?
You don't need to make a sense motion roll. They're twitchy. They don't want you going with.
Yeah, but it's the weapons part that is the stipulation. It's not that they're
Yeah. They're happy
us.
to go in, but they don't want anyone going in with weapons. You can also see there, definitely Stryker is a little bit. He's pretty much showing that he's very untrustworthy as far as he's concerned. You stole the boat. It was there. You were there. You went. Boat went. Allah, you stole the boat.
Yeah, it probably also didn't help. We literally left a message that said "fuck Arwin."
There is also that.
You have an excellent memory, my friend.
Yes. I remember these things which are not helping us in this situation.
So you can understand they're not exactly particularly happy with you.
It's two. There are two guys, right?
There are two guys, yeah.
And are they armed?
Yeah, so Stryker has got pistol, like a scrap pistol. And the other guy, whose name is Ooze, appears to be, he's got like a scrap knife at his side. They haven't drawn any of their weapons or anything.
I'm just going to turn to the guards and be like, could you give me a minute to just try and convince these guys?
Sure. They kind of like walk to the end of the jetty or walk to the beginning of the jetty where it attached to the land and just kind of like, they end up shooting amongst themselves.
So remind me, Ed, this is the jetty on the south side of the island.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because we know that you can land on the north side because that's where we arrived initially.
Yeah, the northwest side. You can kind of land. There's no jetty, but you kind of get near to it.
It was like somewhere where we sheltered from the storm up there.
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Overnight when we first came here. So I'll pitch to the other guys, like, if they really want to get onto the island with the stuff and whatchamacallit, we could maybe, you could leave, I could go in unarmed, and then you guys, if you want, could come in from the north part and then sneak in. Because I don't think you're going to convince these guys to let you take an assault rifle in.
I don't like the idea of you going alone. So either we all go to the other side of the island, or remember when I said we're not going to go in guns blazing? Well, we go in and fuck these guys up. They're being dicks.
We're just here to like talk with them.
Right, exactly. But I
don't
don't trust
telling them anything too inflammatory.
Right, but I'm not going anywhere without my rifle. I don't trust them. They're too twitchy. They clearly, okay, so we left a nasty note in the sand. They're clearly rubbed them the wrong way. So why now would I disarm myself around them, you know?
Well, I'm not asking you to disarm yourself. I'm just saying,
right, but you're part of that too.
I can talk my way out of anything, you know?
Clearly you couldn't talk us onto the island without having to give up our means of self-defense. So
yeah, but
no, I don't.
To get myself out of trouble, you know? That's different. That's when you need that adrenaline rush and like, you know, stakes. You know, when you really push yourself to the limit, as it was.
What do you think, Roach? You think we should let him go on his own and we approach the island from the other side?
I think if he really wants to go, he can go. We just need to point out to these people that if we really wanted to take it by arms, we can easily just nip back and get the rest of Elson's gang and wipe them out.
That is an excellent message, Roach, and I think that you are the most effective person to deliver it. Because you're imposing. You're a big dude, man. If that comes from you, it carries weight. I'm just a scrawny parasite.
And plus, if anything goes wrong, I can rely on you guys to like bust me out. Whether if we were all together and something went wrong, we're all in trouble.
Okay.
See, it makes sense, Caspian.
You can bring the weasels back. Question for the GM. When they come back and Cochran and Roach gives them, you know, the lesson, I suppose, that we could take them by force if we wanted to. How far apart are we?
Yeah,
I want to know if I'm in arm's length with any of these two people.
You can get close and whisper into their ears.
Yeah, I want to whisper sweet nothings.
kind of looks. So you've got like the boat on the end of the jetty, and you've kind of got them towards the land.
Okay, so we're not close enough.
No, I mean, you're probably sort of like, I don't know, 10 meters away from, because they've walked towards the end of the jet, towards the front of the jetty, leaving you guys to discuss your conversation.
Right, but when they come back, how
Yeah.
close will they be?
Well, how close do you want to get to them? I mean, they've spoken to you probably an arm and a half's length away from each other.
Okay, cool. Cochran, why don't you signal them to approach?
Okay, I am like giving them the thumbs up.
Yep, they kind of wander over to you.
I'll hand over my. Are they particularly fussed about my knife?
Well, are you going to give them the knife?
Well, no, I'll give it to. I'll make a big open thing of giving that to like Caspian.
Okay.
Actually, no. It's more of a sign of trust if I give it to them.
Striker says, "I don't want it. Put it in your boat."
Right. These guys aren't going to budge because they don't want to give up their stuff. So they're just going to like go for a little sail and come back in like a couple hours.
I elbow Roach. Tell him, Roach.
Yeah, Striker. Just an update on the security situation. We ain't the only community round here. Some of these others, they look enviously upon our resources. Just pointing out that, we aren't really the ones you should be worried about.
So who should be worried about?
Cannibals.
If we were, you know that we have the armament and the manpower back on the main ship that we could come over and take this island anytime anyway. So maybe you should be looking to us to offer you the protection you need.
Or, we could just feed you to the cannibals.
Striker looks over at Caspian.
They almost made a tasty morsel out of Blossom before we rescued her. I don't think I'll be doing the same for you.
He smiles.
And if he's in arm's length with me, I am going to use a mutation point.
Sure.
And I'm going to steal his mutant power.
Okay. It's fine.
Roll to 4.
Yep, that's fine. Okay. You steal his mutation point. His mutation. He's got extreme reflexes.
Extreme reflexes?
Yeah, so you have superhuman reflexes. If you get a +2 per mana point spent on your initiative rolls at the beginning of the conflict, you can fight or shoot an enemy a second time for the same turn, and each attack costs you 1 mana point. You can dodge someone who fights you or shoots at you. Every mana point spent or mutation point spent reduces the damage you take by 1, and then you can roll for your armor afterwards.
As a show, I'm not initiating combat or anything like that, but as a show, I'll take Cochran's dagger from him. Using the extreme reflexes, he'll see that I'm doing it like super fast, and I put it in my belt or whatever, and just be like, see you later, Striker.
Spend another mutation point to do that.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Striker kind of looks at you, and he looks even more suspicious than he did beforehand. And you can see that the other guy is kind of a bit oblivious just to what's going on. There's definitely some kind of conversation you're having under subtext, and Striker kind of just nods and offers you to come along, Cochran.
Oh, so they're escorting me, are they?
Yeah, they're just basically saying, after you, kind of thing.
Look after yourself, Cochran, and Striker, fuck off.
All right, see you in a couple hours.
Yep.
Wink.
P, what are you going to do?
I'm just going to stand there watching them.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of, they eye you up quite a bit, Peach. They're just like, clearly, out of everyone, you're the biggest threat to them. Caspian is the most annoying to them. And Cochran is kind of not really kind of too much of a threat or anything. So they're just like, yep. Plus he's also a friend of someone they know. So yeah, they don't escort you. So Cochran, they walk to the end, they walk to the beginning of the pier with you, and then they say, you know the way, and then they stay at the
end. I don't know where I've been here once. Where's Arwin?
The guy with all the kind of pustules on his face says, if you just follow the path up, as soon as you get into the courtyard, you turn right, and there's a couple of the mortuaries have been turned into buildings.
Okay. All right. I think I know where that is. All right.
He kind of looks at you and says, I'd go with you, but I'm going to stay here.
Fair enough. Hopefully I'll get back before they get back. Okay. Hopefully this won't take too long.
Sure. And they need to walk up the path. I assume Roach and Caspian are going to get back into the boat to go off for a, in quote unquote, sail.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Well, Douglas, you kind of follow the path and you kind of get to where it kind of goes up the island, sort of like on a small hill. And as you go up, you can kind of come across the large wall that surrounds the entire middle part of the island. There's some of these old iron gates, which are kind of dilapidated. There's also like this, you remember being quite a lot of overgrown plants and vines. That appears to be cut down. There's a path that's been sort of started to be made. And as you go through the iron gates, you can see that there's a lot of patches that are being dug up, and you can see they've been working on making cropland in the thing. It seems to have some good nutrients in the soil. And so you've also seen that they've taken a lot of tarps, and they've started to make shelters and lean-tos out of the various mausoleums, and they've taken a lot of the brickwork, which they've taken apart and sort of like pushed to the side, and they're sort of starting to make buildings and stuff out of it. So they're nowhere near completed, but they're in the beginning stages of basically making a bit of a home here.
Okay. Can I, rather than just going directly, kind of like take a scenic sort of route around and just sort of scout out the area?
Yeah, you can take scenic look around. I mean, there are people walking around. There's some people sort of like tilling the fields. There's a couple of them that are sitting down, and they've got various cans and other bits and pieces around them that they're kind of putting into the soil. One of them
I'll just
kind of
make small talk to them as I walk past or whatever, just to not be threatening. And they'll probably be like, who are you? Why are you here?
Pretty much everyone
I'm
knows
also not armed, so just be like,
Yeah, no, they all know you because you hung around with Victor. And as you're sort of like having a look, you make small talk. It appears they pretty much spent the last couple of weeks just kind of trying to get everything ready and sorting out the cropland. It's nowhere near quite ready to sort of like be harvested. What they did find on the back end of the wall, they found some small allotments that apparently had been used before, which had fruit and some vegetables growing in, which they've kind of harvested, which has kind of helped them to add to your food level.
Can I gauge kind of like how they're feeling about like being on the island in Arwin?
They seem fine. They seem
they're happy enough.
Fine. Yep, they seem happy enough. And as you're sort of like doing that, you see your friend Victor, who kind of comes wandering over.
From what I'm discussing, it doesn't sound like there was any sort of bombshell reveals done while we were away. So
nope.
They're either all on it or nobody knows anything.
Yeah, Victor says, "Hey, Cochran."
Oh, Victim, how's it going?
Okay, good to see you.
I love what we've done the place. Very sort of earthy.
We've worked really hard to try and get it right. But yeah, it's a work in progress. Yeah, that's...
It must be a bit creepy, like living in with the dead people in the dead people houses.
Well, they're dead. So they're not going to bother us.
Whatever.
I mean, we cleared out most of them. So
yeah. I was that one over there I got the cool dice from.
He looks over and goes, "Oh, we found a bunch of other things."
Anything interesting?
We found a lot of jewelry and things.
Shiny things. I found a bunch of like shiny bricks when I was at that sunken city.
Nice.
But they were just not very useful. They look pretty though.
Well, if you ever want to bring anything to us, feel free. I take this is just not a social visit.
No. I've been sent over by the people back home to have a word with Arwin.
Okay. Sure. Do you want to go and see her?
So, yeah. So how things been going generally after, like, you know, what I told you last
yeah. It's been a bit disturbing. I don't think that's really my news to tell you. I think you need to speak to Anna.
You know me. You've got to have an opinion on things.
I do.
We've known each other for years.
I mean, the thing is that you know how the others are. They'll just like riot at the smallest things. And it's safe to say that sometimes the majority of the people can't know everything that's going on because then things fall apart. Hey, I'm saying it's not like perfect. But look, it's not really for me to tell you. I don't really want to we get on, right? And I don't really want to kind of get anyone's bad bugs.
I understand. You live with these people, you know, here, you know. I don't want to make things too awkward for you, you know. So, you know, unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck here for a couple hours until my mates come and pick me back up. So, and depending on how things go with Arwin, it might be quite a quick meeting, you know, if you get my drift.
I understand. Well, look, why don't you go see her and see what happens?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll come back and see you when I'm done, if I've got time.
Sure.
Where are you going to be?
Well, I'll take you to Arwin now.
Okay, thank you.
And he kind of like walks with you to the sort of like the corner, the sort of like northeastern corner where they've kind of built sort of like the makeshift shelters and kind of are making use of the mausoleums that are up there. And yeah, you kind of like walk past a bunch of things that are happening. They've obviously got their own mini projects happening, and you have sort of like a bit of a sort of like a chat. Meanwhile, on board the boat, Pete, Marco. So your plan is to what? Come out and sail around.
Well, we're going to sail off far enough so that if anyone is watching us, they see that we're leaving. And then once we're out of sight of their spotters, if they happen to have lookouts, then we'll turn and go toward that other area that Cochran had mentioned.
Make a know the zone roll for me.
Well, I have no successes. I'm going to push it. 1 success.
Yeah, sure. So you kind of come out and you sort of like start to sort of make your way around the island, but
I also took 1 damage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, as you kind of make your way around the island, there isn't a huge amount of places that you can kind of go because it's on a hill. As you sail around the island, it pretty means that most of the island, if you're sort of on the top of the hill, if you were a spotter, for example, on a wall, you'd probably be able to see you go all the way around the island. Probably. It's difficult to tell when you're on the boat and you're looking up, but just as a heads up. You'd hope that there's only sort of like 8 to 10 of them there. So in reality, unless they're all sitting on the island, on the walls, looking out and scoping things out, it's unlikely that they'll be able to spot you at some point. But presumably, all the good landing spots will probably be watched, you'd imagine, or at the very least a couple. But yeah, it's you to make that decision about what you want to do.
Yeah. What do you think, Roach? Should we take that chance or should we actually go into the next zone so that we are completely out of their sight and then come back around from above?
Yeah, I think it'd be too obvious if we land now. And it would raise the alarm as far as they're concerned.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move into this other zone here.
To the north?
No, over here.
Okay, you want to...
Yeah, we're going east. If I go north, they're going to know something is up because we're not heading toward the ship, right?
Okay.
Well, we did say we were going sailing.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So, can you find the path, please, sir? Or navigate, whichever you
Please
prefer.
don't get lost and then I'm stuck on this island forever.
2 successes.
Okay. Yeah, so off you go. You make your way to the west. So for that, obviously you've been through this area before.
No, that's
so it
east.
takes you half the time.
Isn't that east?
Oh, so you're going west, sorry. Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it?
No, over here. Isn't that east?
Yes, that's east.
Yeah, okay. You said west.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
going
okay.
east. Yeah, so you kind of takes you half the time to go through, so that's not a problem. You've already been through here before, so I assume you're not staying to look for anything, or are you just going to through this area?
Do I have 1 stunt available? Or?
You've got 1 stunt, yeah.
1 stunt, okay. So I want to rush through the sector in a quarter of the time it normally takes.
Yep, that's fine.
So we avoid any creatures or any other kind of phenomenon.
That's fine. Okay. And what's the plan after that?
To go up to here.
Okay. Right. Well, we'll get back to you while we do that. Okay.
There's not like too interesting up there where it's like, oh, that's the crack in it.
Well, you never know. Okay, Cochran, you make your way to see Arwin. And Arwin is waiting for you as you go in. She says, Cochran, it's good to see you.
Yes, it's nice to come visit. It looks like you've really spruced up the place. So does it look like it's very much been improved inside here since last time I was here?
Well, the fact they've actually got some form of place to stay is, before it was just an old battered cemetery. She says, just you? No, none of the others?
Unfortunately, Stryker didn't let anyone up with any weapons, and Caspian and Roach did not want to get rid of theirs. So they've just gone off for a little sail, and they're going to come back for me in a couple hours.
Okay, well, what can I do for you, Cochran?
Well, I'm mostly here just to, I want to check on Victrum, mostly because he's a mate. But Elson sent a message over that he's wanting to have a meeting soon with the current leaders to discuss what's going to happen soon, and he would like to include yourself.
That's very kind. Maybe he can give us back our boat.
Yeah, that would possibly have to be discussed as part of it.
It's difficult. How am I going to get there if I don't have the vessel that I require?
I'm sure Caspian will be able to come get you on his one.
Well,
yes, but unfortunately, we're having our own struggles at the moment at the boat, and I will just kind of fill her in on everything that's happened so far. So,
are you going to leave anything out?
am I going to leave anything out? So let me have a list of the things that that have kind of happened. And do you mind if I just list them off, Ed?
You go ahead.
And you can agree if these are the things that have happened. So, a bunch of people have died. There's sickness running across the boat at the moment, somewhere in the lower decks.
Yeah.
A bunch of centipedes came and kidnapped people at some point.
No, they were crab people or something like that. I think that's how we all described it. Or you all described it as crab people.
Yeah, crab people came and grabbed some people and took them off to the deep blue sea. We found a bunch of cannibals who were kidnapping people, and Elson, who is literally the only... We told her Rhett was dead last time we were here. Did we actually tell her Rhett was dead?
Did you tell her? Yeah, no, you did.
We did that.
You said that there was a large explosion and a lot of the people were hurt. I don't know if you actually said that.
I'll confirm that Rhett's very dead. We've not found her. Her, and her gang's in a bit of disarray at the moment. And Elson, Elson has kind of taken charge, basically, of the ship. But unfortunately, he's having problems because a bunch of cannibals came and abducted some people and ate them. And now he's going to go and deal with that personally.
So who's in charge of the ship while he's not there?
Cochran's actually going to be like, hand up in a second and be like, technically, there's no one in charge at the moment.
So
everyone's just sort of working away. It's actually quite peaceful.
The Ark has no king. The Ark needs no king.
Actually, it's like all the leaders away and everything is fine.
Sure. She says, okay, and when do I need to sort of go and see? Well, I assume that requires Elson to come back from wandering off into the zones and come back alive.
He's not wandering. He's a very specific target, and I'll explain like where he's going. There's a specific place on the East Coast that was Blossom mentioned, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like some sort of like place near the thing. And he's going there with a list of all the people who went with him.
Yep.
Like, because, I vaguely probably know that.
Yeah, you know most, you pretty much know everyone in the Ark.
Yeah. So he took a decent amount of people.
I see. You can see she's sort of like thinking.
Yeah.
It says, so where are your colleagues?
Told you they're just out taking a sail at the moment.
She looked quizzical at that and says, how long do you think Elson will be away for?
Well, let me have a think, and I will try and do the math in my head, even though I have terrible wits of how long it actually took us to get vaguely to that area. I think it was around about like it's like 3 hours to cross a zone, and that's like 3.5-ish zones, is it, to get over there?
Well, it's about 2 zones, essentially.
2 zones. So it's probably, I don't know, it'll probably take him like a day to get, a day of traveling, plus who knows how long the fight's going to take.
Yeah, so you probably a couple of days, maybe 3 days at most.
Yeah, but like we have a route. Did any of us tell him the way to go? We took.
Yeah, you kind of like told them the direction to which to go.
So you could probably travel it a bit quicker, those ones.
She says, how many of his gang are still there?
This is going to be the bit that Cochran's like, hang on a minute. So these are some very specific questions. Oh, yeah. Well, why do you need to know that?
Well, I don't particularly want to go back and then find that they want to take over as a sole leader.
Now, here's a question to Marco and Pete. Did you tell Cochran that you were like, there was a suggestion of like him being the sole person in charge, and he kind of was very warm to that suggestion? Did you tell him that?
Probably.
Okay.
But with the proviso that he actually wanted a council of
exactly. Yes.
gang leaders. So
then I will be like, no. But he's looking to form some sort of like, what'll be the word? Committee of sorts.
She says, okay, well, that seems sensible.
But unfortunately, a lot of people are still pretty mad with you, Arwin, over...
Why?
Really, Arwin? Do you want me to say it?
Well, yeah.
The Elder.
What about the Elder?
The Elder that you lied to everyone about being alive, who'd actually been dead for days.
What was I going to tell everyone? The Elder's dead in the middle of a war between or at least something that was brewing. How was that going to work?
Well, and I will point around and be like, this is what happened.
That you get a decent place to live. I mean, I'm not going to exactly... I was going to tell everyone. I just needed the right time. But unfortunately, Red decided to cut that short.
Yes, Rhett did that.
Shut your mouth.
Well, this is the thing. They'd already left the boat. So do they know that me and Caspian were the one who exposed all that? Because they were already long gone.
No, they don't know.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh.
Okay, well, I think that I'm not going to apologize. I think that it was the right thing to do.
I think a lot of people would disagree, unfortunately. And a lot of the people are very emotional about that disagreement. So
a lot of the people in the ARG are stupid and can't really make their own decisions.
Wow, I'm glad Caspian is. He would have probably shot her right by now.
I mean, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
stuff
In my
is
head,
fine,
I'm saying that.
But I think the problem is that when big things happen, like the elder passing away and passing on the knowledge that she had, she didn't want to cause a problem or a scene. And unfortunately, that's obviously what's happened now. But she imparted a lot of information to myself and my team. And so we've learned a lot.
Well, by the looks of it, you've put a lot of it to use, because I wouldn't know anything about like what you've done here with like the plants and stuff.
Well, we took all our manuscripts with us when we left.
Yes, I remember we bought you time to do that because you asked us to do that.
And so we're very grateful. So you and your team, or you specifically, are always close to, our hearts for that. Very grateful for your help. And of course, at any time that you wish to join us, you have a place here.
I don't know. I'm not hugely enamored on the sort of like staying on land part. It's still a bit weird, this dirt stuff.
I understand, but we'll have to sort of start from the ground up, and then we can build a new ship and then get back out onto the...
Oh, see, I've been going on about that, everyone, but nobody seems that interested about repairing the ship.
Obviously, you have the right idea.
Thank you. He's like very smug with himself. He's like, finally, these people are talking sense. Everyone else is all about survival and defense, while he's like, repair the ship and it solves all the problems.
And at that point, Denrick, the fixer, comes in, and he has got a lot of fresh food, vegetables, and some clean water. And she says, come, let's have some food. Meanwhile, I guess we're going north with the other team.
We're going north.
Okay, so could you please make a find the path or navigate roll? Here's the first point of call for you, sir.
It looks like I have one success.
No, you've got two, I think. Is it one? No, it is one. Just one. So yeah, so you can go into the zone, and you can spot anything before they spot you. So it's unlikely you're going to be ambushed.
That's always helpful.
Always helpful. And you kind of go in. Pete, can you roll me a force roll for me, please?
It's one success.
One success. So essentially, as you kind of like head your way north, the breeze that you've kind of been working on slowly starts to sort of fade, and you end up having to use good old-fashioned oars to kind of keep this vessel moving. And so you do so. That's fine. And so you kind of slow down at a slower pace, but you're making your way through the zone. As you're doing so, a mist sort of like starts to roll in from the north. You can just make out an island ahead of you as you're kind of starting to go into the zone. And then this mist starts to descend.
It weirdly colored.
It's not weirdly colored. It is not weirdly colored in any way, shape, form, but it kind of just starts to settle around the thing.
Do I know if this is going to hinder navigation, if we should wait it out?
It is, yeah. It is definitely going to hinder navigation.
I'll head toward the shore of that little island.
So you make your way towards the shore of that island. Could you make another find path?
Keep forgetting I get a +2 on these rolls. There we go. 3 successes.
Very nice. You kind of already know where you're going, so that isn't really a problem. And you head towards the island.
With do I have stunts with that, right?
Yeah, you have stunts.
Okay. So can I read the rot level of the sector?
You can indeed. The rot level is strong in this area, so it's going to be every hour.
And then I have one more talent, a stunt, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we're waiting out the mist, so it's not like I can rush through the sector.
No.
Are there any ruins on the island?
You can't tell until you get closer. So as you're getting close to the island, you obviously see the island, and then the mist and the fog sort of like comes in. So it kind of means that you are sort of then without being able to see what's going on.
Okay, that makes sense. Roach, we're going to have to wait out this damn mist here on the shore. It's really too dangerous to navigate.
Yeah, Cochran knows what he's doing. We might be a bit longer than he expects.
Things that sort of like really slow to a crawl as you are in it. You end up having to sort of row. So Moss and Roach are putting their backs into it. You're kind of like trying to keep the rudder steady, and the wind really kind of just stops and everything becomes very calm. You can hear the sound of like a bell in the distance.
Where is that coming from?
In the direction you're going, towards the north.
From the island or from the water?
It's difficult to tell. It's really calm. The mist and sort of like fog has descended. And so you can hear it. I have no idea in which direction it's coming from. It's just this very, very soft ding noise.
Like another boat, perhaps.
It could be another boat. Yeah, could be another boat. You continue on your route, heading towards the island. The ding of the bell get a little bit louder as you're going towards it. So you think you're going in the right direction towards the bell, at least. But it is also the direction of the island. And,
lights on the island?
There's no lights. All you can see in front of you is this grayish mist. You can see that definitely above you there is a sun somewhere that's kind of trying to break through the mist. And every now and then a portion of the area in front of you dissipates for a second, and you see a bit more, maybe 10 meters ahead, 15 meters ahead, and then it kind of closes in again. You're sort of like, all your clothes are sort of like starting to get a bit damp from the mist. And yeah, it's very disconcerting.
It is. I don't like it.
As that happens, you kind of hear another ding noise, and then you hear, maybe it sounds like someone or something speaking just ahead of you, and then you hear a growl.